Hi, everyone. Hey, letting people in the room. Let's see, turn it up. I may take my drink. I may not, though. Hi, everyone. Ooh, the room's filling. Happy Thursday, everybody. Hi, how are we doing? Somebody want to give me a one-word check-in? How we doing? Thumbs up, hearts, happy, sad, challenged, inspired. Oh, look who's here. You guys, I think Andy wants to start doing his own Instagram lives.
No.
How's it going?
I deliver these. That's what I do.
Bela, bubbles, and beer. Janet, we got to make T-shirts that says this. Although today is water and wine. Okay, we're going to turn the water into wine. It's my religious reference for the day. I'm so excited to see all of you guys. Anybody going to give me a one word? How are we doing? Are we good? Sad? Oh, don't be sad. Andy would be good at Instagram Live, wouldn't he? I know. Why, he's giggling. I wish I could come over here so they can see your face that's dying. You love my earrings? Thank you. They're like pearls and leaves. So happy, hopeful. Hi, Laura Lee. Hi, everyone. Bruce, you're tired. I hear you. 2 more weeks to retirement. Kathy, that's amazing. Do you guys all have something that you're drinking? Hi, Chantel. Hi, sweetheart. Anybody have anything they're drinking? You and Andy should do a couple IG Live. Do you see that? I mean, he's lurking around here. Hi, guys. Anybody want to cheer? Do you guys want to cheers with my mug of water? I'm trying to drink 144 ounces of water a day. Can you believe that? Right, and only 4 ounces of wine twice a week. Well, I guess it would not be good if I was drinking 144 ounces of wine a day. That would be terrible. Nancy, you're drinking water. Kathy, 36 years of teaching. You should be making $2 million, full stop, because we have a 12-year-old and a 16-year-old homeschooling teachers. You have my utmost and deep respect. So you guys are all drinking water. Absolutely. Clean beauty tea. I love this. You guys are so healthy. Martini. Joe is drinking a martini. I drink a lot. Get a Yeti. I love it. I will. Okay, you guys, I think it's 7:05. I know you guys have sent me lots of questions. And you've probably guessed with me now, I usually kind of wait until the day of because I'm kind of off the cuff and spontaneous when I want to talk to you guys because I just want to talk to you about what feels right, like what might be happening in one of my clients' lives or many of my clients' lives that's on my mind and I am thinking about it. So red flags is, such a huge subject, right? Red flags. Everybody talks about red flags, red flag. And what's so interesting is a couple of times in the last couple of weeks, we've been doing some really interesting work with our clients, and it's kind of turned out, well, let me see, I won't give it away yet. So I was talking to a girl, and we were having a conversation about, she's a little older, and she lives out in Canada. We have clients all over the place. And she's recently started to date somebody, and he is high GHQ per our standard. We go through that whole marriage map process where we really help people to hone in on who high GHQ is high in good husband qualities for people that are looking for a husband, and then for people that are looking for a wife, we call them GWQ. So she found a really great high GHQ guy. It's only been, about 5-6 months at this point. And so they've been quarantining together, and she is realizing that over the last several weeks, she's been stressed at work. And so we were doing a call, and she said, I've kind of flipped on him a few times. And I said, well, why have you flipped on it? And she says, when I get stressed at work, I just kind of do that. I said, okay. And so we talked about it. And she says, yeah. I said, well, who else do you do that around? And it's, well, I kind of do it to my parents, like if I'm around them, and, maybe my siblings, but that's really about it. So we came to this conclusion with her that when she starts to feel safe with people and like they're really in her inner circle, then what happens is somehow she feels very comfortable just getting angry and being volatile. And so we were talking about this, and she had this breakthrough during this session, because I was asking her, I said, do you do this to everybody in your life? Do you do this to your friends? And she said, no. I said, do you do this to your colleagues? Do you do this to your therapist? Do you do this to me? No. It's just the people in her inner circle. And she said to me, and it was such a beautiful, pithy breakthrough, and she said, we've done such a good job of finding somebody that doesn't have red flags. He's amazing. He's high GHQ, she said, and he's taken this abuse that I've given him. And, she says, even when I say, God, I was kind of out of hand, like I shouldn't have just come home and like laid into you like that. And he says to her, because it's still new enough in the relationship, like, no, you know what? You're stressed at work. It's okay. And I said, he's really graceful and very classy. And she said to me, I think I'm the red flag. And it was such like, you could hear like the brakes screech in my head and the glass breaking, right? And so it's so interesting, because so often in our process, we work with lots of people that have picked lots of wrong people, whether the people are in their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. Usually if we pick one bad one, and especially if it's early on, we kind of set that flywheel going, and then there's another bad one, and maybe there's one that's not so bad, and then there's one that's awful, and then nobody next to Mr. Awful looks that bad. And so we really helped to write those patterns. But this was such an eye-opener for me to know that she was definitely the red flag, never really displayed red flag behaviors in this. So it was a very fascinating conversation. And so I thought for today, it would be kind of interesting. I know it's a little bit of an incendiary topic, but I thought it would be interesting just because it's happened a couple of times in coaching sessions that I've had. And then this week, I had another client who has recently gotten engaged and was really upset about her fiance having bought something for their living room. And she says, well, why would you do that? Why would he do that? He didn't consult me about that. And he did it because he was trying to be helpful. He was trying to provide. She does a lot of this work, and she sort of flipped out on him about that, even though he was trying to help. And again, there was this, oh geez, I think I'm the red flag here. So I don't know. Have you guys ever, I know most of you, I'm sure, have dealt with people that have red flags, right? There's so many red flags. And I know we've talked about these red flags. I know we've talked about these red flags a lot, and people that have red flags. So, so what I would tell you is, one of the biggest, and it's great, and I love when people have these moments of transformation, because I know the people that we work with are amazing people, and there's just a little tweak. And just because, and let me tell you the truth, have I been the red flag in my relationship? 100%. I think all of us, if we're honest with each other, we've done shit that we're like, okay, that was not cool. Like, I shouldn't have reacted that way. I shouldn't have said something. And all of us, because we're imperfect human beings, right? We've all been the red flag. So I thought it would be useful for us. And just because we can exhibit red flag behaviors doesn't mean that we're bad people, right? We're just human beings, right? Anger is an emotion. Fear is an emotion. Sadness is an emotion. Just like happiness is, just like excitement is, just like joy is, right? And so I think one of the things that you can try to catch yourself on, and one of the biggest red flags, and I think Andy's standing here behind me, probably here to tell you how many red flags that I do have.
No, I'm the red flag.
I saw him lurking back here. I'm like, do you want to tell people how many red flags I've exhibited here? So yes, we do. You know what? And next week, is it next week? We will have been married 23, May 17th is our 23-year wedding anniversary. So this guy and I have been together for that long. And so, yeah, I think there are times and phases, maybe we've both been the red flags, or we have displayed red flag behavior, like maybe yesterday, for example. No, I'm just kidding. But one of the biggest things is, and I know this has certainly happened to me, it certainly happened to Andy because I can speak on his behalf, but you know, if you see yourself as hot-headed, right? And so many of us can go from sort of, and you can ask yourself this question: if something happens and your feelings get hurt, or something doesn't go your way, you can go from 0 to 100, and I mean like a bad 100 in 3 seconds, right? Maybe you say mean things, you get very cold, you lash out. I know someone told me that in their house, like when their partner was mad, they would, could throw the microwave across the room in a fit of rage, right? Never hit her, but there were volatile acts of behavior. And so there are ways around this. Like if you have a one-off, okay, it's fine. But if you find yourself relating to any of this, and yeah, I cry and yell, I hear you. I think we all, when our feelings are hurt, I see, so many of us can cry, so many of us can yell, and it's not pathetic. You know what? It really, it is introspective, and it just means that there's things to process, right? Maybe you get sad and you cry and you get angry because you're triggered, and it could be triggered by something that happened to you when you were a little kid. Maybe your parents didn't let you speak up and talk about your anger, and you were forced to be quiet, and you just learn those ways, and you suppress the emotions, and they come out as anger. They can come out as rage because we were never taught how to process those kinds of emotions. Yeah, and I'm seeing a lot of this. I shut down. So many people shut down, right? In my house, we weren't allowed to speak up when we were little, and we all shut down. Dad could express anger, we could not express anger, right? And so you just learn to keep your mouth closed and become a good coper and become a good pleaser. And so these are things that I work on too. Yeah, I see you guys, I feel you. You shut down when you get upset, right? Yelling is hard for me because I was never allowed to yell, but I can be a shut downer, and just go and process on my own, because that's what I did when I was a kid. I went and I processed on my own, and I wrote in a diary, and that was really my only outlet, or talking to friends. So whatever these triggers are, guys, and if you're the person that gets really angry or the person that gets really shut down, your goal ultimately, when you find a happy, healthy partner, finding them is phase 1, keeping them is phase 2, right? And if you find yourself triggered, if you find yourself shutting down, getting cold, getting angry, it's okay. Find a good therapist. Find a good coach and work on that stuff. Good therapists can do absolute wonders. I don't know if you guys were on the IG Live yesterday that I did with Dr. Alexandra Solomon. She's amazing. There's so many great therapists that can help you. And not only maybe you don't have those red flags, but if you're shutting down or you're getting angry, I see tons of people getting cool, getting hot, getting cool. I love this. So this is why I wanted to have this conversation, you guys. Thank you, because I started to second guess myself a little bit. I was like, is this too much to talk about today? Like our own red flags? But I don't think it's too much to talk about, because finding someone like my clients have done are amazing people and they don't have the red flags. Then we have to really look at our own selves and go, shit, am I the red flag? So yeah, if you are hot-headed, the key is, if you don't want to get into therapy, right, but you know that this is a trigger and an issue for you, the question is, then you need to DIY it and start to read some books. You need to start listening to some podcasts. You need to figure out how to feel the anger, but not react, right? How else Can you, or maybe you can tamp the anger by changing your thoughts, by changing the story around what happened. We really talked about telling ourselves the bad story. We've talked about that, me and you guys, for the last couple of weeks. Dr. Solomon and I, we talked a lot about the stories that we tell ourselves last night, but giving yourself, if you find yourself being triggered and wanting to, get angry at someone, and there are things that you should get angry about, right? I mean, if you find out someone cheated on you, okay, I'm not talking about those things, but I'm talking about the little things, like your partner buys a chair for the living room to try to surprise you and make you happy because you're normally the designer and didn't put it past you. And if you find yourself raging, getting really angry about that, there's some other stuff to potentially work on there. So yeah, Nancy, you're right. Respond versus react. Respond is fine. I tell my kids, it's okay to be angry. It's not okay to speak in an angry way, right? Because I'm trying to teach different rules. I want them to learn it's okay to be angry. It's okay to have the conversation, right? They don't hold their feelings in, but nor do they scream and yell and use disrespectful words, because I don't want that in my house. It was not fun doing that. So Mickey, you said you had a life coach. That's great. I'm so glad. Yeah, therapists, coaches are the best. Just kidding. I'm a coach. But yeah, these are things that we definitely help people to work through. Yeah, you're right. D. Marie, I don't know exactly what your name is, but it's pretty. Anger is a good emotion, and we have to make a choice when it's appropriate for the situation. No, absolutely, right? Anger, you cannot not get angry. You can change your thought and maybe help to diminish your anger, but you can't not get angry. So if these are things that you kind of say, yeah, you know what? I do shut people out when I'm angry or when I'm hurt, or I do rage a little bit. These are things that you can start to work on with therapists, with coaches, reading, listening to podcasts. Guys, I'm all about personal growth, because we can all change. We're not indelible. You can learn anything. You can be anything. You can change anything that you truly want to change, right? And I see a comment here, when you're angry, you're hurt. Absolutely. And when we're hurt, whether it's something that our partner did to us or something someone else did that we rage on our partners, right? Then the better thing to maybe do, and I know this is me saying this in a rational time, is just saying, hey, you know what? My feelings got hurt today by something someone did. Can I just talk about it? And like when Andy and I have this good pact now, it's like if one of us starts talking, and he has to remind me of this just as much as I have to remind him, we can start to talk. It's like right now I just want to vent and talk. Or right now, I need you to help me fix a problem. But they're two very different ways of listening, and that's how we've learned to kind of grow this over the last 20 years. But it's really, so I think just opening up that communication, doing a little bit of digging on yourself, like how do I react? And then becoming, I love that, a sponge for evolving. That is totally like the hashtag of the night. Be a sponge for your personal evolution. You can change, you guys. And the key is just having that desire to change and that motivation to change. Oh, hi, Donna. That's you. Hi, nice to see you. Here's another, red flag number 2. You guys know me. I prepare for you, so I like to jot things down. So, because I'm the date coach nerd. The second one is, and this is kind of a rough one, but I call it like I see it. If you, in your mind, you think your partner is inferior to you, right? If you kind of think your partner got the great end of the deal, right? And you feel like you're kind of superior to them, right? And I know these are triggering, like kind of polarizing words, but if you feel like you are so much better than your partner. I had a coaching session with a woman this morning who says, I've been dating someone for 8 months and he makes no money. He has no ambition. And this is just not tenable at all. He's fine. I'm not fine. Right. And so she feels in that way that she has a one-up. She's like, I'm successful. I'm making money, you're not. And so what happens is when you have that mindset of this imbalance, you can start to develop contempt for your partner, right? And contempt is a bad emotion. It's like disdain, right? And when you develop contempt, what you'll try to do, you'll start seeing that you take digs at your partner, right? And you try to put them down either when you're alone with each other or even worse, when you're around each other, right? Because you see your partner as small, then you will try to maybe make your partner feel small. And there's only so long that any person will take that. So if any of this is resonant, I'm guessing for most of you that are listening to this, maybe you've been on the other side of that. Maybe you've been with someone that has belittled you. Maybe somebody that has had contempt for you. Maybe they felt, obviously they were wrong, but they felt like they were superior to you. So they belittled you, or they tried to humiliate you in front of your family, in front of your friends, which is horrible, right? But if you find yourself really feeling like, man, he got the better end of the deal because I am the bomb diggity, right? I see a lot of you saying this is your ex-husband to a T. I see lots of red flags. So this is definitely if you feel like, so you can turn these red flags around, right? It's either if you feel like you're superior to your partner, if they feel like they're superior to you, that contempt is inevitable, right? It will happen. And it is what it is. And so that's something, if you're the person that is feeling the contempt and feeling like you are, you're the game on and they're the game off, then either you can go into counseling for yourself, get counseling for the both of you to figure out what this dynamic is so you can get to that fork in the road and either make the relationship better so that you're happy with each other and you don't feel like there's such an inequality, right? Or then maybe you split and you go on to find someone that will really make you happy, that you feel like is a good equal partner for you. So that was red flag number 2. So red flag number 1 is you are hot-headed. Number 2 is you think your partner is inferior to you, and that is your own little red flag. Number 3, and we kind of touched on this one in number 1, you can be the red flag in your relationship. Now, I want y'all to listen up. If you avoid conflict like the plague, who's going to give me some sort of a sign, a thumbs up that how many of us avoid conflict like the plague, right? You're great when life is rainbows and unicorns and puppies, but when there's conflict, you find yourself lacing up your Nikes and running for the hills. You're out, right? Avoid the conflict, okay? And if you are avoidant of conflict, this can either go back to childhood stuff, right? Where you learn to avoid conflict. Sometimes we even learn when you're love avoidant, you kind of grow up because you didn't get a lot of love. You think love is dangerous. And so you become more isolated, more, you can hook up with people, but there's no one you really never fall in love because you've always thought love is dangerous, right? So if you avoid conflict like the plague and you're like, peace out, it can be a dangerous thing for a relationship, right? And if you're conflict avoidant and if you shut down totally and you ice your partner out, it can make your partner crazy. It can make them sad. It can make them anxious because they don't know why. Suddenly you've shut them out. You're giving them the silent treatment. You've shut down. You're cold because you're hurt. But you don't know how to talk about it because maybe you never learned how to process conflict in a way that wasn't angry or destructive or even allowed, right? And exactly, stonewallers, that's a great word. Like people that are just, they're like, well, I don't know, everything's fine. No, I'm fine. Fine, you're fine, I'm fine. What's going on? We're good, right? But we're not good, right? So if you find yourself avoiding conflict like the plague, shutting down, getting your Nikes on, even over small things, right? Now, if you're getting your Nikes on and you're avoiding pain because you're dating someone who is a narcissist or has a lot of red flags, that's a very different situation than, tonight I wanted Asian food and he wanted Italian food. And you know what? I just didn't want to have the conversation, so I shut down. And he's like, what's wrong? You were fine just a minute ago. It's like, no, I'm fine, right? I am then the red flag, right? And that's what needs to be helped. Again, good therapy, good coaching, books, podcast help process it. Hold that mirror up to yourself, right? The only way you can grow is you have to have 2 points to grow. You have to know, point number one, you have to know where you are today. And what you have to know for growth is where you want to be. And if you don't know either of those points, if you don't know where you are, you can't grow because you don't even know where you stand right now. And if you don't know where you want to be, you can't grow either. So you have to really look in the mirror and ask yourself, okay, is this me? Is this my red flag? And then really learn how to process it so that when you find love, because I know you're all going to find love because you are smart daters, you are psychotically optimistic, you are going to find love so that this is something that you can start to work on now. So while you're working with me on the finding love stuff right now, right, and going through and having a good dating plan and finding GHQ or GWQ and doing all the things, developing the dating plan and fixing your picker and all those things that you need to do, then when you find that person, I don't want you to have the conversation with me at a certain point saying, oh my God, I'm the red flag, right? So do that work now, right? Do that work now, and you will be so grateful to yourself and proud of yourself for having done all of that growth work. So this is kind of a funny red flag, and this is red flag number 4. If you're obsessed with social media, now, let me qualify that. It doesn't mean you're obsessed with like scrolling through what Andy's in the kitchen covering his head laughing at me right now. If you're on social media, potentially in an attention-seeking way. So let's say you're dating someone potentially, and now you're on social media and you're always posting like, super sexy, down to here, up to here, or dudes, like your abs. Like if you're posting these kind of attention-seeking photos, or on social media, you're flirting with your exes, liking their posts, they're liking yours, you're commenting, your partner will definitely feel insecure and threatened. And if you find yourself doing that, kind of hold that mirror up and go, what am I doing? Why am I doing this, right? And most likely there's something that you're feeling insecure about, right? And you are acting in this way to make yourself feel better about something that you haven't truly processed yet. So if you're constantly posting that kind of stuff, it's not like if you're posting, if there's lost children and you're sharing that, or sharing, fundraisers or Kickstarters, that's all fine. I mean, obsessed with social media in that sort of bad way, like stalking all of your exes constantly, commenting, like attention seeking. So anyway, you just, at the end of the day, I've been doing this for 10 years. I've seen a lot of people do a lot of things. And especially when you start dating someone and they're watching you on social media, which happens, right? A lot. You just don't want them to go, oh my God, why on earth does he post stuff like that? Like that's so thirsty, as my kids would say. It's so desperate looking. Like you don't want to be that person when you're dating someone and elicit those feelings in the person that you're dating, because then you could be perceived as the red flag. So social media can be a great thing if we use it the right way, and it can be a dark, old, dingy, dangerous tunnel if we use it for the wrong reasons, right? So 2 more like all of us, like let's think about, do we have these red flags? Number 5, this is a big one. You don't take responsibility for your actions easily, if at all, right? If everything is someone else's fault. It was my ex, it was him, it was her, it was blah, blah, blah. And it's really never your fault, or you can't find your participation in the conflict that happened. You can't say to yourself, oh my God, that was me, which is why I loved these several conversations that I had with these amazing clients that could look in the mirror and say, oh my gosh, that was me. Like, you are not, that's just behavior that can be modified. You yourself are not red flags. People that are truly red flag people are always blaming other people. They will never ever say, I'm the red flag here. So those conversations are some of the most moving and transformational conversations that I have when we can look in the mirror and do that work and say, God, it's me and I can change that, right? So if you find yourself always kind of blaming other people. He's the narcissist, she's the narcissist, he doesn't treat me well. And it's like, I didn't do anything, I was just doing this, right? At the end of the day, that could absolutely be a red flag. And maybe you can survey people if this sounds resonant. Survey people around you. Like, do I take responsibility for my actions? Like, can you tell me, what do you think? Like, when we got into that fight, do you feel like I took responsibility for what I said? Did I apologize? Like, start to seek feedback out from people if you're not sure. But if you think that might be you, that's a really easy thing. We, in our process with our clients, and we call them they're at the level where we call them VIP packages. And when they work with us, we do a 360 feedback process where we have them get feedback from anybody they want to: family, friends, colleagues, children, exes. And they send us anonymous feedback. It doesn't go to our client. They send it directly to us. The answer to one question. For example, if I was my client, it was like, why hasn't Bela found the right partner yet? Right? And I get pages on pages from people, from people in my clients' networks that they have designated to write answers to my team saying why they still haven't found the right partner yet. And some of the data that we get from that is transformational, because sometimes people feel much safer when they're going to a third party to say what they really think, and we keep all the feedback confidential. We don't say, hey, your mom said this and your sister said this. We're not here to destroy a relationship. We're just here to look for patterns that might turn into blind spots. It could be things that you're doing really well, which comes out a lot because you've designated people and these are your village. But a lot of what comes out are the things of, what she really does, she's an attorney. And I think when she's on a date, it must feel like a deposition because she's so intense and everything is like an interrogation. Like, she wants to know, and there's like a series of questions that get fired out. And when we get 3 or more pieces of feedback like that, then that's something that we definitely talk about, with each individual client. So you can, if you don't have anybody that can 360 feedback you, obviously we can do that for you, but maybe do it yourself and see the kind of feedback that you get from people. And the last red flag are if your friends and family are always whispering in your ear, right? And they're always like, oh, I think you could do so much better, right? If your intimate social network, like the people in your village, are constantly telling you, oh, he's awful, get rid of him. If he's not, right? If they're telling you out of love, like, oh my God, he's a complete jerk, get rid of him. But if every single person, even if they're really nice and I would like the person, and if they're like, you could do better, right? And you keep those voices in your ears, they could be your friends. And maybe, and we see this a lot, friends that are also single that want you to be their single friend with them. They have no intention of trying to date and find someone, but they want you to always be in their cohort with them. So they may not want you to find someone. They're like, oh, you could totally do better than her. Like, she's not that hot. Oh, you could do better than him. He's kind of short. Like, what? Right? So you have to be really careful of constantly hearing this stuff and then reacting to it with the person you're dating. Really have some objective feedback. Like, know who you're looking for, right? Don't be so swayed back and forth. I see Binky 1987. I'm literally at 5 out of 6 right now. We love you. Everybody give her some hearts because we love the introspection that you are doing. We love it. And Leilani says, my friends who told me this were incredibly right. He was a narcissist and I didn't realize it, but they did. Exactly. So there are times when people in your life will tell you the truth, but if they're the people and you don't know what their intentions are, and their intentions maybe just to keep you single for whatever reasons. I have seen parents do this to kids. I have seen extended families do this. Whatever people's reasons are, God only knows. I've seen friends do it to people. Just don't do that. Don't listen to that. If you think these people are doing that, but if your friends are legit telling you someone is a total jerk bag, They're probably right. But if every single person you've ever dated is a jerkbag, I think we have a horrible dating pattern of choosing people with red flags, or you're listening too much to the wrong people. So you're going to have to make that assessment for me. So those are the 6 little notes that I wrote down for you guys today about that. So yeah, you guys take a sip. Cheers. My lipstick's all over my mug. Sorry. I'll put it on the other side so you guys don't have to see that. Oh, thank you. Gosh. Andy didn't even have to remind me to take my sips today. So that's great. Oh, thank you for whoever said my hair looks good. Wow. Thank you. I appreciate that. Okay. So now I have the questions that you guys have asked. And if you guys have any questions and I didn't get to them, there's so many comments here. Just feel free to post your question again. I try to focus on speaking and looking at the comments and looking at the questions at the same time. So I know I don't, where's the wine tonight? Girl, it's right here. Thank you. Oh my God, it looks great. Thank you guys. Are you talking about my hair? That's so nice. I actually used, I'll tell you, I used Madison Reed as my hair freshener. So if you guys have seen the commercials for that color, it's amazing. So, and I did it myself this week. So that could be what it is. So you guys have the wine going. Oh, someone said Andy's a lucky guy. Did you hear that? Oh, he's raising his eyebrows. He's nodding his head. He knows he's lucky. I'm the lucky one. I'm definitely the lucky one. Okay, so I don't see lots of questions from you guys here. So I'm going to hit your questions. Now, as usual, I know last week I did not have time to answer 7 of these questions. So I wrote down, answer these next week, and then I had these from today, and there's probably more in my phone. So I try to keep honest. I try to keep like all these questions. I try to get to all of your questions at some point. If I don't, just absolutely send the sticker in again. I'll get to your question. I promise. There's just so many dating questions. COVID dating is on fire right now. Before I forget, I taped a segment with Good Morning America yesterday, and it's scheduled to play sometime next week, and we're talking all about COVID and dating. And I bet, because you guys have been listening to these IG Lives, you could be giving these tips. We talked about what are good first dates to do. We talked about doing museum tours together, cooking dinner together, having ring lights. So it'll be on Good Morning America sometime in the 8 a.m. hour next week. So just know that. So this question was really intriguing. And for the guys here, just bear with me. But one of the girls said, I need help with makeup. Do you have tips to share? Do I have tips to share? Of course I do. I am, from a makeup standpoint, I kind of am a fan of less is more. I don't do a lot of makeup. I actually do my own makeup. Bye, Deb. Thank you. I actually do my own makeup for TV. It's not much different than what you're seeing right now. So I would say the best thing that you can do to be date ready is just make sure that you're happy with the way your skin looks. And make sure that you do something to highlight your eyes. Maybe that's a little bit of eyeliner. Maybe it's curling your eyelashes, mascara. I know tons of people that are getting eyelash extensions. I think they can look amazing. I wear contact lenses and my eyes are allergic to everything. My ophthalmologist told me if I got lash extensions, he would literally fire me as a patient. So I will not get eyelash extensions, but I think emphasizing your eyes and your lips is an easy way to really amp up your makeup look. I don't do much shadow, like maybe a little bit of zhuzh on the brows. But yeah, lips and eyes. Even David's saying lips and eyes. Absolutely, right? You guys on the call, like, yeah, typically what we're recommending is pop your lip a little bit, right? You don't have to have like the brightest red, although I love seeing women in bright, bright reds. I don't do that well in a super bright red. Lindsay, who works for me, does this gorgeous bright red all the time, and she rocks it, and she's blonde hair and green eyes. But the berry lip, that is absolutely... the berry lip will always, or maybe it's pink for you, maybe, but something to just pop your lip. Nude lips tend to get a little washed out, right? Or just a plain little bit of gloss. So I know there are people that are going to disagree with me, and that's fine if you don't agree. I'm just telling you what works for on camera, because I do a lot of that, and I see what they do in the studios. So it's just, if you're going to be doing video dates and photos, definitely do something to your eyes, do something to your lips, and it's amazing. Pam, you're so lucky if people think you have fake lashes. No one has ever told me that, wow, are those lashes fake? Because they're not that long. So on Zoom, you may need to add a little. You know, Zoom has that filter that makes you look good. I don't know if you guys have seen it in Zoom. You can go into your background, I think, and then click HD and like filter, zhuzh yourself up. So that's great. I know, Donna, I know you got your first lipstick, and you told me that today, that you bought your lipstick. I'm very proud of you. So that's the best thing to do. Get a little liner, get some mascara, get some powder, so you can look dewy but not too shiny. A berry lip, use the word berry however you want. You guys know I'm NARS, Palais Royale all day, every day. It's on my lips, it's on my water mug. I know that was probably gross. You didn't need to see that, but it does get everywhere, but it's okay, right? That's what dishwashers are for. As a black girl, I was told my lips need to be bigger. Your lips are just fine, exactly the way they are, my friend. You just zhuzh them up a little bit, put some color on them. And I've had women, and you guys know probably if you follow me on Instagram stories for the last few months, I haven't done it in a while. Maybe I'll do one next week. I did the berry lip challenge. Actually, I will do it. And if you guys will do berry lips, send me like lips and send me like a kiss emoji that you will do the berry lip challenge for me next week. Put a red or a berry lip on, send me a photo, and I will post you in my stories, okay? I've had women do this during the berry lip challenge, and they will tell me how much better they feel about themselves and how people react differently to them when their lips are brighter. So this is the makeup. I know, guys, the struggle is real, and you're doing it with the makeup, so it's easy. Someone asked me, do I Botox? I don't Botox. So you can see I can lift up everything. So I have a friend who's a dermatologist who tells me she can Botox me. But I don't know. I'm a simple kind of girl. So, okay, I see these lips coming. You guys are going to do the berry lip challenge. I'm going to hold you to it. So when I post it, y'all send me your DMs. I'm going to put you in my story next week. So watch my stories so that you can see when the berry lip challenge is. So this weekend, your homework is to go out and get yourself, you can go to Walgreens and get like a $6 lipstick. I'm not talking about you need to go to Bloomingdale's and get something that's $50 if that is not your speed. Does not matter. Lindsay, for my birthday, got me the prettiest red Walgreens crayon lipstick, and it stays on for hours. And she's like, literally, it's drugstore, and it's amazing. And I think the color would look good on you. So, okay, good. I see all you guys giving me lips. Then the berry lip challenge is on, ladies. Guys, if you want to do the berry lip challenge, you can do it too. So eyes and lips, those are my makeup tips. And if you guys ever want to do a makeup tutorial on IG Live, I can have one of the girls that works for me that does makeup for our clients. We can easily do like a makeup IG Live as well. So let's see, what is next? What is your definition of talking to someone versus dating someone? Okay, now I used to talk a lot about this with Steve Harvey, and we would laugh on the show because he's like, Bella, what is if my son says he's talking to someone, what does that mean? I'm like, it could mean he's texting. It could mean he's talking on the phone. It could mean he has been out on 3 dates. It could mean he is sleeping with her, and he's like, what? I'm like, someone's talking, they could be sleeping with each other. And they're like, oh, we're just talking. Like, what the hell's talking? Talking is a lot. So when you're dating someone, my definition is if you are telling me you are dating someone exclusively, then you call that person your boyfriend or your girlfriend or your partner. Right? That is it, right? Oh, you see Carla does amazing work. Carla's one of the girls that does makeup for our Smart Dating Academy, and she is amazing. Loved her help. Thanks, Dee Dee. Dee Dee had her photos done with us and her hair and makeup. So talking versus dating. Dating someone is like it's stepped up, right? You're kind of on your way to becoming exclusive. Talking could mean anything. Could mean you're texting. Could mean you're hooking up. Could mean you're dating. So if you don't understand what something is, ask the question, hey, what are we, right? I was curious. And so we have scripts that we give our clients if we think that they're heading towards an exclusive relationship. And it's been like 10, 15 dates and it's all going forward, but neither of them have had the exclusivity conversation. Then we give them, custom little scripts based on their own conversation, like how to nudge that exclusivity conversation. And it always goes well. So yes, that is what I would tell you is talking can mean, I guess, be having a boyfriend or a girlfriend. Just ask the question because talking is way too broad for any of us in 2020, especially in the world of coronavirus. What dating site should a 48-year-old female use for a serious relationship? You, 48-year-old who is looking for a serious relationship, can use any site except like Ashley Madison or some adult friend finder garbage. Like, get none of those sites. But you can find someone on Match, on eHarmony, on Twitter. Match, eHarmony. Actually, you can find people. I know a girl that married someone I know two people that have been married off of Twitter, people that have been married off of Instagram, Snapchat, Vine. So the world is y'all's oyster, okay? So you can use any sites. Use something big. Try Match. Try Bumble to start, okay? That's what I would tell you. Next question. Any advice for someone who is dating someone who has a child? If you're dating someone with a child and you are dating, not talking, haha. No, if you're exclusive and serious with this person, then maybe by 6 months you'll be able to meet the kid. But if the person wants you to meet their kid right away and the kid's little, you just don't want to be meeting people's kids too early, even if you love kids, because if the relationship doesn't work out and that person has red flags and you need to bolt, then you don't want to break the kid's heart, right? Because kids are so, so precious. Oh, look at Mickey found someone on Match. Hearts to you. I love that. Zeus is good too. Awesome. Love that. I love Bumble. Look at this. Everybody is dating up a COVID storm right now. Okay. Here's another question. How do you know when you found the one, especially if you are bad at love? Gosh, that's almost like an IG live. It's actually like a masterclass all on its own. How do you know when you found the one? I would say I could talk a lot about, the top 10 things you should have that the one should absolutely have. But I think overall the relationship should be easy. Just keep that in mind. And easy doesn't mean conflict free. It just means you can navigate the fun times pretty easily. You can navigate the hard times pretty easily. There's nobody throwing a microwave at each other. You can have conflict and you can address it pretty easily, right? So easy is a good big word, easy and natural. Laura's saying, I wouldn't have anyone meet my 11-year-old until we were serious. Amen, right? I see Hinge. If you say, if it's a marathon, why sign up for 1 month? Well, because you want to see how the site is going to be for you. You don't want to commit to 6 months if you don't like the mechanics of the site or the people that you're getting matched with. I want you to have a fluid site strategy. So don't get married to any site for 6 months, because then you'll just be resentful of the site if you're getting a lot of people that are fake profiles or from overseas or whatever. So, Simply Mari, I found someone on the Facebook dating site. Wow. Fantastic. I love that. Only a month. That's it on a dating site. You guys, let me clarify what the question was. Why shouldn't you commit to being on one dating site for 6 months? If the dating site's going well, hell, be on it for 6 months, for 12 months. I'm saying when you're going to pay for a subscription, if you don't have to pay for 6 months, pay for 1 month, right? See how it's going to go. Don't be so fast to commit. Don't be too fast and furious with the site. I'm joking here a little bit. So I'm kind of saying red flaggy things for online dating sites, but just commit to a site for 1 month. See how it goes. And then you can easily switch and pay for another site and not have the chafe of having paid someone 150 or 180 bucks for a 6-month membership, right? So that's what I would tell you. Okay, those are last week's questions. Now let's get to this week's questions. Let's see. Talking to a guy 5 times a week for 8 months, long distance. How do I know it's more than just a pen pal? Well, that's a good question. If you're saying pen pal, are you only texting this person every single week, right? Are you actually talking? Are you FaceTiming? Are you Skyping? Are you building intimacy? Do you have plans to visit each other when COVID is over? And it's been 8 months. How do I know it's just more than a pen pal? He should be making, or you guys should be making a plan to meet somewhere. Ideally, he comes to you. So I would definitely try and amp that up and see if you guys aren't interested in meeting each other, or somebody taking a visit to one or the other place, then maybe there are people that just want pen pals and they just want textual relationships, right? So you should definitely find out where that's at. If it's been 8 months, that is a long time to just be texting somebody, even if it's long distance. I know people that have met someone on vacation, weekend one, and the 2 weekends later, they're flying to that person's state. So no, you need to have that conversation to find out where this person actually is and what they want. And if they have no intentions of really coming out to see you or having you come out there, game over, lose them. Okay, let's scratch that. We got that. Talking and dating are the same thing. How to meet someone after 50, female, New York City, financially secure, fit, and I'm told I'm very attractive. Well, who doesn't want to date her, right? So you can meet someone in 3 ways. There's 3 pipelines: online dating, meeting in real life, or getting set up with someone. Those are the 3 ways to meet people, whether you're 30, 40, 50, living in Chicago, New York, LA, Seattle, wherever you are, right? And that is what it is. Your best options, especially now in New York City, are to be using dating apps at this point, because I don't know how long it's gonna take for us to get back to normal, to go to in-person dates. So you can find great people online. We just did that Dating After 50 masterclass last weekend, or I guess it was the weekend before that. It was a total success. We've had more than 200 people buy the masterclass. Like, it's been amazing. And take the webinar, see what you can do for yourself by, it's a quick study, 90 minutes, or just try it yourself. Get online, try to meet people in real life, but there's lots of ways. With somebody with 50, female, New York City, financially secure, fit, and very attractive, dude, the world's your oyster. Like, you got this, okay? Or call me, okay? You sound exactly like the demographic of people that we work with in New York City, so we can certainly help you. Here is someone submitted 2 questions here, part 1 and part 2. Part 1, how long does it generally take to meet a decent person online? Well, it takes some of my clients 1 date, because once you have your high GHQ list and your marriage map and all that fun stuff done, you know how to filter pretty darn well. So we've had people meet and marry the first date that they went on, literally. And this person was 64 years old, who I'm talking about, and lives in Seattle, Washington, and is amazing. Let's see. So it could take 1 date. It could take a year. It could take 2 years. It could take 3 years. Remember, it doesn't matter how long it's going to take, right? Because love will come to you. It's a when, not an if. And if you're saying meeting someone decent, and if you're only meeting bad people, it may be because you've got a filtering issue, or you've got a thought process issue. If you think there's only indecent, icky, degenerate people out there, you're only going to see those people on sites. Your brain it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you're like, everyone online sucks, guess who you're going to see? The sucky people, right? And if you say there's great people everywhere, guess who you're going to start to see? You're going to start to see the good people, because your brain has an ego and your ego wants to be right. So if you're saying everybody's gross, you're going to see gross people. If you say everybody's amazing, you're going to start to see amazing people. Okay, so that's it. So how long does it take? It could take one day. It could take however long it takes, but don't quit. Love will come to you. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. Okay, and there's no set time. A lot of this is luck. Is preparation meets opportunity, right? So our job is getting people prepared and then getting the opportunities to offering. Oops. Okay, that was weird. Then her part 2 question. After talking to someone for a few days, should there be some type of connection? Yeah, you should be. If you're talking to someone for a few days, there's a reason you should be talking to them, right? You like them. There should be some sort of a connection. If you've been texting for a few days, take it to the phone. Have a 10-minute chat. If the 10-minute phone chat goes good, goes well, take it to a video chat, right? If the video goes well, do another video and another video and another video until you can actually meet in real life. That is how the connections go. Messaging, phone, video, in person, 4 steps, hashtag, SDA. Bela Gandhi's 4-step rules to meeting somebody. Next, this is going to be the last question I'll take, and I know there's 3 others after this that I didn't get to, but I will get there next week. The guy is chatty and fun to talk to, but never asks anything about you. Bad sign. Potentially redirect the conversation and say, oh, that reminds me of me. Or you could just say, like, is there something about me that you want to know? And you can say it in a flirty, cute way and see if he's like, no, I'm good. Okay, then that's a red flag for sure. But he may not even know that you feel this way. And if you want him to ask more about you, then you can say that, right? You can offer information about you. Okay, so ask for what you want, guys. I think Instagram, I haven't gotten the 2-minute warning yet, but I know last night they tossed us off like that. So I always think these Instagram lives are going to go 30 minutes and then we take the whole full hour, which I love. I hope you guys enjoyed and were cool with me talking about, hey, maybe you're the red flag. Like I said, I have been the red flag. Andy has been the red flag. We've been red flags together, but we try to green flag most of the time. And I feel like every year we are getting better at communicating and talking about things. And we learn to tell each other instead of saying, you did this. It's like, hey, the story I'm telling myself is when you left the house this morning and you didn't say bye, you were really mad at me. It's like, oh my gosh, I did say bye to you. I don't think you heard. It's like, oh, then I've been sitting with that all day long. That is the story I've been telling myself. So, you guys, thank you for all these lovely words about that awesome advice. It means the world to me. I never imagined doing Instagram lives. If you would have told me before COVID, I didn't do IG lives, you guys. I'm doing them because you guys have motivated and inspired me and given me great feedback that these are helpful to you. Which is great for me. I'm a helper. I love people. I love helping people. I want you guys to find love. You guys wish me luck. We promoted a new product at our webinar 2 weeks ago. It's called the Love Lab. We sold it out in 24 hours. We're doing it on Saturday. It's a 3-hour Zoom workshop. I'm so excited. I'm literally having trouble sleeping. I'm so excited about it because I love dating and I love love and I love helping people. So I'm excited about it. Wish me luck that it goes well on Saturday because we're going to offer a Love Lab too. If you guys want in on the Love Lab, go to the Smart Dating Academy site. Thank you for the good luck. And you can get on our waiting list because we will do another one. We already have people on the waiting list. So you guys, I love you. Thank you so much for all of your great words. And I will hopefully see you next week. I might be a little earlier because I'm doing an event with NPR. I know. I think it's at 7. I'll let you guys know. Just watch my posts, watch my stories because it may not be 7 on the dot, next week, but I will let you guys know, or maybe we'll switch it to Wednesday. So just definitely watch my posts so you guys know, because I love you. I know you love these lives. That keeps me going. Oh, you guys, thank you. I really needed this. Today was a rough day, so thanks for all of your kind words. You're making me teary. And thanks for listening to my red flags. Don't be the red flag. Work on yourself. Pick someone that doesn't have red flags, because love is going to come to you. Check out our website, smartdatingacademy.com. Lots of free information. Go to our YouTube channel. Lots of videos. I love you guys. I will see you at some point next week after the Love Lab, and I will tell you how it goes. Okay? Mwah. Have a great week.